It sent a chill down our spines to hear Phyllis threaten Billy on Young and Restless, and we weren't the only ones. Sally was hella concerned about what shape her fellow redhead's retribution might take, and with good reason given her track record. But what can she possibly do to hurt them? The better question would be, what can't she do? Phyllis, as we've all witnessed, is a loose cannon at the moment. A loose cannon loaded to the hilt with explosive projectiles. And Billy and Sally just lit the fuse. Phyllis is on the verge of a massive meltdown of the psychiatric variety after being held captive by Martin Laurent and tortured like a lab rat along with Sharon. Add her anxieties surrounding Daniel into the mix, and you've got a veritable Molotov cocktail ready to go off. Making matters worse, there's no one monitoring the volatility of this developing situation. Daniel's keeping his mother at arm's length. Summer's gone overseas, Billy's washed his hands of his former partner, and while Nick checked in with Phyllis, she pasted on a smile and assured him everything was great. He didn't see through it, so here we are, where the only person who seems to have any sense of the impending disaster is Sally. Phyllis was already spiraling wildly when Billy cut her loose from the fabled Abbott communications, but finding out he had replaced her within minutes with his girlfriend Sally, who she also blames for sending Summer out of town, was the straw that broke the proverbial camel's back. We're used to Phyllis yelling. It's when she gets quiet that we really need to start worrying. And that's exactly what happened when, in an exceedingly calm and terrifyingly direct voice, she warned Billy that he would come to regret what he'd done to her. So, what can she do? Well, there's really no boundaries when you're Phyllis. So the answer to that is, what can't she do? She could find numerous ways to sabotage Abbott communications, we're certain. Aside from her world-renowned hacking skills, she certainly won't be shy about getting into bed with unsavory types to take her revenge. She could work with Adam against Billy, or even expose Billy's true agenda. To work with Dumas to take Chancellor back from Victor, to undermine him. Phyllis' takedown, if successful, would not only ruin Billy, but also Sally, who inexplicably walked away from her dream career opportunity at Marchetti to hitch her wagon to her boyfriend's latest endeavor. Speaking of secrets, Sally has no idea that Billy plans to do battle with Victor again. There's no question that if she did, she wouldn't have accepted Billy's offer. She learned not to tangle with the mustache, who despises her, whilst involved with Adam. Moreover, Billy had promised his girlfriend that he was done with all of that. Phyllis could throw a real spanner into the works of their relationship and partnership by revealing to Sally what's in store for her as Billy's right hand. Phyllis already has ammunition, she'll just have to plot the best way to detonate it. Whatever she decides, one can be sure that Sally's worst fears about the redhead's retribution will soon come to fruition. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Pulse Canvas. It's me, Julie, here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching. So let's dive into today's video. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Wednesday, May 7, reveal that Victor Newman will make a suspicious move, so Chelsea Lawson will question Adam Newman. Lily Winters will also make a risky deal, so here's what Y and our fans can expect. Now that Chelsea has decided to accept Adam's job offer, she'll be ready to embrace this new challenge at Newman Media. However, Victor will make things complicated right off the bat with a shady request. Considering the timing, Chelsea will suspect that Victor is testing her loyalty. Once Chelsea quizzes Adam about that, he may admit it's a good possibility under the circumstances. If Victor wants Chelsea to support a messy power play against Billy Abbott, or something along those lines, she may suddenly have doubts about this working arrangement. Even so, Adam may assure Chelsea that mixing business with pleasure could be a good thing for them. Perhaps Adam will promise to handle Victor and make more predictions about the benefits of this partnership. Next, Jack Abbott will corner Billy to complain about his recent treatment of Diane Jenkins Abbott. Since Billy was full of negativity following the Abbott renovations reveal, Jack will have a big problem with that. In fact, Jack will push Billy to apologize for being so blunt with his criticism. Billy suggested Diane erased John Abbott and basically ruined the home he remembered, but Jack will think his brother was too harsh. While Jack orders Billy to tell Diane he's sorry, Lily will reconvene with Damian Kane and hope for some Aristotle Dumas updates. Since Lily requested a meeting with Aristotle, Damian will have news from his boss. Before Aristotle will agree to meet with Lily, he'll want to know the reasons why. Aristotle will have questions about Lily's motives and what she's really after here. If Lily wants a chance to quiz Aristotle about his own agenda, then she'll have to offer up a response that'll satisfy him. Lily will ultimately strike a risky deal, but will it really get her the in-person Aristotle meeting she's counting on? The Young and the Restless spoilers say Lily will keep working to protect her family, but some curveballs are coming that'll change the game. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that if Nate Hastings has learned one thing since meeting Victor Newman, it is that the man cannot be trusted. Victor claims to be a man of his word, but he is no such thing. Victor is not beyond lying and cheating to get what he wants, and Nate knows there is something off about him working with Audra Charles. Victor has used Audra before, and Nate has the suspicion that Victor is using her again. Audra refuses to give Nate any details about her new business. However, it is becoming well known in Genoa City that Victor is working with Audra again. Most people are also picking up on the idea that it has something to do with Kyle Abbott. Claire does not agree with Victor that Kyle is not the right man for her. However, Victor is determined to break them up, and he's determined to do it as soon as possible. Claire is getting ready to move in with Kyle, who has invited her to move into the Abbott mansion. Claire is wanting them to move into a place of their own. Claire knows that she and Kyle agreed that they would not be living in either family home. Suddenly, Kyle has suggested that Claire move into his family home. Claire was a bit upset by the suggestion. Claire and Kyle have still be looking for a place to live in for their future. Will Kyle and Claire have a place of their own, or will Victor's plan work? Nate is curious to see exactly what Audra is up to, and she's not giving him much room to figure it out. Audra hates Kyle and how he has allowed himself to walk away from her. Audra and Kyle had a good relationship at one time. However, Victor is the one who played them against each other and took Glissade away from Audra. Audra is still seeking revenge against Kyle for all of this instead of going after Victor. Will Nate figure out what Audra is up to and call her out for doing Victor's dirty work again? Will Nate call out Audra on trying to seduce Kyle Abbott and walk away from her since she has lied to him about her work with Victor? When we are proud of a loved one, we often pay tribute to them for various reasons. Could be for a birthday or another milestone, a new accomplishment, or just because. And the Young and the Restless Brayton James took to social media to send a special shout out to his girlfriend, pro dancer Jahara Myers. Not only did he post a couple of shots on his Instagram stories of Myers, showing off her skills as a backup dancer during Beyoncé's Cowboy Carter tour at the May 1 show from Sophie Stadium, he'd also added a couple of pics to a separate post. What you're looking at is the culmination of a lifetime of work, discipline, dedication, strength, bravery, and belief that my love Jahara Myers continues to exude, James shared. Her journey is what inspiration wants to be when it grows up, and I am beyond proud to be a witness to her art as we share this life together. James' post caught the eyes of a few of his castmates, including Amelia Heinel, who stated, "She is so beautiful," while Judah Mackey and Michelle Stafford sent the actor a few hearts emojis. Beyond the Gates' Carla Mosley stated, "Wow, how incredible." The actor first made their relationship official when he posted 2 super sweet photos of the couple, simply accompanied by the words, "My everything," and his followers couldn't get enough of how great they looked together. Bottom line, everyone deserves someone to walk through life with, and we're happy James has found his person. Lily makes a bold decision. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Wednesday, May 7, find Victor and Jack in familiar positions, with Jack defending his family members and Victor cross-examining his. So, just another day in Genoa City. Jack and Kyle signed off on Diane's redecorating of the Abbott house. Billy didn't like it. He admitted he hadn't even lived there as long as his siblings, and he wasn't nearly as attached, but still, he doesn't like Diane, ergo, he hates what she's done with the place. Literally, Jack is angry. Why is Billy always such a I don't have a better term. Why can't he just be pleasant, for a change? And even if he can't, Billy should apologize to Diane. No one tries to stop Victor from being a jerk anymore, which is why no one blinks at his ongoing huffing and puffing and impotent threats to blow assorted people's houses down. This time, it's Chelsea in his sights. Now that he knows she's going to be working with Adam, Victor needs to make sure her loyalties are in the right place. Not to Adam. Don't be silly. Victor could not care less about Chelsea's treatment of Adam. He needs to make certain that Chelsea understands working for any part of Newman means being loyal to the most important Newman of all, Victor. If she hears Adam doing something that might not be in Victor's best interests, her responsibility is to come running to him. You got that? Lily is being wooed by Damien, Holden, and even Nate is trying to convince her of his honesty. It looks like she's finally made a decision, and it's poised to shock all three of them. Why he still might have been. Brothers and sisters like to mess with each other. This is true in the real world, not just the young and the restless. On the May 6 episode, Nick freaked out his sister by telling Victoria he and Sharon eloped in London. He really had her going. And while we appreciate this sibling relationship, we're still wondering whether Nick might have been telling the truth after all. Here are 3 reasons why. Nick might have been telling Victoria the truth as a way of testing out how his family would react. When Victoria predicted their mom and dad would freak, Nick quickly pulled back and claimed it was all a joke, because now he had his answer. No matter how relieved Victor and Nikki may have been when a kidnapped Sharon was found relatively unharmed, that didn't mean they were willing to forgive her for being the poor, social climbing trash who hoodwinked their precious baby boy into marriage multiple times. So if Nick and Sharon did get remarried, the Newmans don't need to know. The majority of Nick and Sharon's problems over the decades have come from his family, so the obvious solution would be not to tell them. Nick and Sharon can be perfectly happy together without his parents and siblings being any the wiser. After all, marriage is between 2 people, it's not a group activity. The only time a marriage warrants letting other people into the circle is when children become involved. It would make perfect poetic sense if the only witnesses to their reunion were the 2 children Nick and Sharon had together, Noah and Faith, and Christian, who is kind of both of theirs, too. Maybe even poor, dead Cassie was there in spirit. That's all they've ever needed. The Y&R actress keeps it real and shares some of the wisdom she's learned over the years. The 2025 Met Gala may have been all about pushing fashion boundaries, but the young and the restless star Michelle Stafford took a different approach. She dove into her personal red carpet archives. The 3-time Daytime Emmy-winning actress shared a video throwback photos to Instagram, and with it, she shared a very Michelle-style message to her younger self, honest, funny, and totally relatable. "This girl right here," Stafford said, pointing out her former self in a photo from the 2011 Daytime Emmy Awards. "And only I can say this, you need to eat a cheese sandwich." She figured the photo was from around 2010 or 2011 and gave her gown high marks. "I like the dress," she said. "I think Monique Willier. It's a wedding dress actually, but I like it." Still, she couldn't resist giving her past self a little tough love. "But we need some meat. We need a little meat," she added. Only I could say that. The picture in question appears to be from the 2011 Daytime Emmys held at the Hilton Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas. Stafford attended that year as a nominee for Outstanding Lead Actress in a Drama Series for her unforgettable work as Phyllis Summers on Mariah and R. While the fashion was undeniably stunning, it's Michelle's signature blend of humor and heart that truly stole the spotlight and reminded us all to be a little kinder to our younger selves. Tessa's heart ached as she realized the distance growing between her and Mariah, and she feared the truth was worse than she imagined. The Young and the Restless recap for Tuesday, May 6 sees Tessa worry about Mariah and the silence between them. Plus, Nick freaks out Victoria by joking that he and Sharon eloped, while Diane gives Claire some advice. Sharon was surprised to see Tessa at society, and the awkward encounter spoke volumes. Tessa was excited to reconnect, but quickly picked up on Sharon's evasive energy. Though Sharon insisted she wasn't avoiding her, Tessa called out the obvious. Mariah was the one pulling away. In her desperation to make sense of the rift, Tessa assumed she was to blame. Maybe encouraging Mariah to give Ian another chance had crossed a line she couldn't uncross. Sharon defended her daughter and promised Mariah would open up in her own time. But Tessa's intuition told her something darker might have happened during Mariah's trip. As Sharon scrambled to change the subject, Daniel wandered in with his guitar, providing the perfect exit. Tessa wasn't fooled. Sharon practically bolted. Daniel joked that Sharon always reacted that way around him. He offered to reschedule their lesson, but Tessa suggested they head to the park instead. In the fresh air, surrounded by trees and music, the weight on Tessa's shoulders didn't lift. She watched Daniel strum chords, clearly in his happy place, and tried to fake her own peace. But Daniel saw through the act. He prodded until Tessa admitted the truth. Her wife was hiding something. Meanwhile, at Crimson Lights, Nick caught up with Victoria. She filled him in on Cole's mysterious illness and the lack of test results. They chatted about his trip to London, how Nose Club was thriving, and how Sharon was managing. Victoria assumed all this Sharon talk meant a reunion. Nick played along, even joking that they got married at Buckingham Palace. Victoria wasn't amused. Eventually, he got serious, assuring her it wasn't a romantic trip, just two old friends supporting each other. Still, Victoria doubted Nick's ability to be alone, and pointed out that at least Sharon wasn't Phyllis. Their banter turned to business as she warned him about Victor's warpath against Kyle and Claire. Nick urged caution and promised to stay out of it, but he doubted Victor would stay in the dark for long. Just then, Sharon arrived, asking to speak with Nick privately. Victoria shot him a knowing look before leaving. Sharon confided that something happened with Mariah while she was away. Though Mariah hadn't shared details, Sharon's guilt painted a troubling picture. Elsewhere, Jack surprised Diane with breakfast and a heartfelt apology. He regretted ever doubting her and wanted her to know just how much he loved her. But Diane admitted not everyone shared his sentiment, Billy in particular. He believed she'd erased John from their home. Diane wondered if Billy's issue was really the house or her. Jack chalked it up to Billy's lack of history with the place. Diane confessed she didn't just want to feel like part of the family, she wanted to be family. Her childhood lacked that sense of belonging, and she worried she tried to earn it by stamping her presence into every corner of the house. She'd even named Kyler after her father to rewrite her past. Jack assured her she deserved unconditional love. Meanwhile, Claire and Kyle met with Adam at the GCAC, asking to buy his apartment. Adam immediately sensed desperation. He warned them that gaining Victor's approval was a long shot. He agreed to sell, albeit with a few biting jokes and reminders of his own complicated history with Victor. Later, Kyle and Claire told Jack and Diane about the apartment. They needed to talk to Harrison first. After the men left, Diane picked up on Claire's hesitation. Claire confessed she loved Kyle and wanted a life with him, but Victor's disapproval hung over them like a cloud. Diane cautioned Claire against picking that particular fight before she was ready. Is Michael finally ready to ditch Victor on Mai and R? For decades, Michael has been the great Victor Newman's ultimate fixer, defender, and secret keeper on Young and the Restless. Whether it's in the courtroom or the boardroom, Michael has gone to bat for the mustache time and time again. But at what cost? The once formidable legal eagle now feels more like Victor's cleanup crew than a respected attorney. Isn't it time he flies the coop? What if Michael finally realized that being Victor's ride or die is slowly eroding his sense of justice? We've seen him bend the law, cross ethical lines, and risk his career all in the name of Newman loyalty. At a certain point, it's not friendship anymore, it's control. And let's not forget Lauren. How many times has she raised an eyebrow at Michael's blind devotion to the Newmans? She's watched her husband be dragged into one Newman family mess after another, often at the expense of their peace of mind. Wouldn't she jump at the chance for him to finally say, "I'm done"? Maybe Michael needs to stop being Victor's shield and start protecting himself. Imagine a storyline where Michael draws the line and walks away, opening up juicy tension between Newman Enterprises and Lauren's business empire. Could we finally see Michael in a battle that isn't about saving Victor, but about saving himself? It's not about disloyalty, it's about self-preservation. Michael has paid his dues and then some. If he doesn't step away soon, he might find himself trapped in yet another Newman scandal that he can't lawyer his way out of. Victor might be a legend, but legends fall. And when he does, will Michael really want to be the one holding the briefcase? Soap operas are known for blurring the lines between fiction and reality, but this time, The Young and the Restless delivered a moment so real, so touching that it left fans across the globe wiping away tears. In a beautiful and unexpected twist, Melissa Claire Egan, who plays Chelsea Lawson, shared a deeply emotional on-screen scene with a very special co-star, her real-life father, Dennis Egan. And let's just say, no one was ready for what happened next. In a recent episode, Chelsea has a heartfelt conversation with a kind older man, offering her words of wisdom during a particularly painful moment in her storyline. While the dialogue felt genuine and soul-stirring, what fans didn't know, until Melissa dropped the bombshell, was that the man playing the wise stranger was her own dad in real life. After the episode aired, Melissa took to Instagram with a behind-the-scenes photo and the caption. The internet erupted with reactions, from heartfelt comments to emotional video edits. Longtime viewers praised the show for allowing such an authentic connection to play out on-screen. Chelsea's current storyline on My and R has been emotionally intense, as she continues to navigate her mental health journey, co-parenting struggles, and a search for deeper meaning. Having her real-life father deliver words of support in a scripted yet very real scene only deepened the resonance. Insiders at CBS say the idea came from Melissa herself, and the producers were immediately on board. Despite never having acted professionally, Dennis Egan reportedly nailed his scenes in just a few takes. Crew members were said to be misty-eyed watching the real father-daughter bond play out in front of the camera. Melissa later revealed, fans flooded social media with praise and gratitude. Now that's acting with heart. I was in tears and didn't even know why, until I found out it was her real dad. Melissa deserves an Emmy just for that scene. So raw, so human. This is why I love soaps. Sometimes, the most real moments come when you least expect them. Some fans even called it one of the most emotional moments of the year on The Young and the Restless. With Chelsea at a crossroads in her life, many are wondering how this emotional scene will shape her future. Will she find new purpose? Will she rekindle an old flame or walk a new path entirely? Whatever's next, one thing is certain. This unforgettable real-life crossover has cemented Melissa Claire Egan's place as not just a fan favorite, but a powerful force on daytime television. The Young and the Restless fans, get ready. Genoa City is about to be shaken to its core. In a move that has viewers buzzing, Laura Lee Bell has just teased a sensational comeback, and she's not coming alone. Reuniting with fan favorite Michael Damian, Christine Cricket Blair and Danny Romalotti are poised to bring the kind of nostalgic drama and modern-day twist fans have been begging for. After months of speculation, Belle recently dropped a tantalizing hint on social media, posting a behind-the-scenes photo with Damien and a cryptic caption. "Some things never fade. #YouAreFamily." Within minutes, the internet exploded with theories, and now it's confirmed. Christine and Danny are returning to The Young and the Restless. But this won't be a quiet walk down memory lane. According to insiders, their return will come with explosive consequences, a tangled past, and a scandal that threatens to unravel everything. Longtime viewers remember Christine and Danny as one of Y and R's golden couples. But years of betrayal, miscommunication, and time apart left their love story unfinished. Now, Christine is back in town, newly separated from Paul, and it looks like sparks might fly again. But not everyone is happy about it. Sources suggest Christine's reappearance will stir old feelings, but also dig up buried secrets, including one that Danny has kept hidden since he left town. Could it be that Danny's return is about more than just a second chance? In true Genoa City fashion, no romance comes without chaos. Enter Phyllis Summers, Danny's most dangerous ex, who never forgets or forgives. With Phyllis already on shaky ground after her recent schemes, Christine's return could push her over the edge. Whispers on set hint at a showdown between Phyllis and Christine that will leave viewers breathless. Could a decades-old rivalry reignite into an all-out war? In a recent interview, Michael Damian shared his excitement. That cryptic line has fans guessing. Is Danny hiding something darker? A betrayal? A secret child? A past crime? I&R isn't just playing the nostalgia card, it's weaving Christine and Danny into the current landscape in a major way. The return will impact not just each other, but key players like Jack, Lauren, Michael, and even Sharon. Old alliances will be tested, new enemies will rise, and in a move that has the rumor mill spinning, it's believed that a devastating twist will be revealed in the coming weeks, one that could end a legacy character's career or life. Don't miss a second of the action with Christine and Danny back, and a storm brewing over Genoa City. The Young and the Restless is about to enter one of its most thrilling chapters in years. Tune in daily, because secrets, seductions, and scandals are coming fast, and no one is safe. Could infidelity spell the end of Taraya's marriage on Y and R? Trouble is looming for Taraya on The Young and the Restless. Mariah is keeping a secret from her wife Tessa, one that could lead to heartbreak and Spiltsville for the couple. So, what is it that Mariah is hiding? When Mariah returned from her business trip last week, Tessa sensed something was wrong. Mariah shrugged it off as fatigue, but later she confessed to Sharon she did something terrible on her trip. Something that Tessa can never know. There's a lot of speculation about Mariah's secret, and the number one theory is that she cheated on Tessa. If this is her secret, then it wouldn't be the first time she was unfaithful. Back in 2020, Mariah was feeling lonely and jealous when Tessa went on tour with her ex-husband Tanner. Mariah began hanging out with her friend Lindsay, who offered a shoulder to cry on. Feelings started to grow between Mariah and Lindsay, who gave in to temptation. However, their tryst was interrupted by Tessa, who returned home early. Taraya broke up because of Mariah's infidelity, but they eventually reconciled. But now history could be repeating itself, and there's much more at stake. While Tessa forgave Mariah the first time, this time the circumstances are different. They're married and have a daughter, something Mariah didn't think about when she made her mistake. Mariah's betrayal will have Tessa second-guessing their relationship and Mariah's commitment to her. Mariah will have much work to do to win back Tessa's trust, but it might be too late. Tessa has become closer to Daniel, and the show is teasing a possible romance. Mariah's infidelity would push Tessa out of her arms and into Daniel's comforting embrace. Find out what's in store for your Genoa City favorites. The Young and the Restless spoilers for May 5 to 9. focus on Phyllis retaliating against Billy, while Lily makes a shocking business deal. Also, Tessa is troubled by Mariah's behavior. The week of May 5 will undoubtedly be dramatic and traumatic for many of the Genoa City players, starting with Phyllis. Billy unceremoniously dumped her from Abbott Communications after she remained hyper-focused on helping Daniel with his grief. Looks like she finds out that Sally has taken Phyllis's place as Billy's second-in-command. As a result, Phyllis will retaliate against Billy. She vows to anyway. Meanwhile, Diane makes a confession to Jack. She must tell her husband how his brother hated her refresh of the Abbott mansion. Billy basically insulted everything that she did. Later, Jack demands that Billy apologize to Diane, which wouldn't be sincere. Billy said he was honest. He can't take it back. He said what he said. Business drama, of course, will take front and center. First, Lily makes a shocking business deal. What's her motivation for making this deal? And more importantly, did she even consult with Devin and Nate? Maybe this is all because she wants to shore up Winters before Aristotle Dumas can get his hands on her family's company. Regardless, Lily will have some explaining to do. Since another teaser suggests that Devin finds himself in a tough position with his family, there's a chance he may not be happy with Lily's moves. In other news, Tessa is troubled by Mariah's behavior. Maria is back from a work trip, and she clearly is keeping secrets. She wouldn't even tell Sharon what happened. But it sounded like Maria went on a bender and may have taken part in a drunken extracurricular activity. Since she returned to GC, she has acted morose, cagey, angsty, and she's avoiding Tessa. She won't even answer her calls. Tessa should feel troubled. Nikki may try to broach the dreaded Kyle and Claire topic with Victor. If she tells him that Claire and Kyle are moving in together, then it's totally clear why Victor suddenly hits Kyle where it hurts. By the way, is this a literal or metaphorical hits? Finally, Chelsea starts life as Newman Media COO, and she already wonders if Victor is testing her loyalty. She also struggles working with Adam. She might regret leaving Marchetti for greener, but not necessarily better pastures.